Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're viewing this from. Here's a report from the BBC. The BBC is reporting that Israel has accepted the U.S. bridge proposal for an Israeli-Hamas ceasefire. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has agreed to an American bridge proposal for a ceasefire deal in Gaza. It is now up to Hamas to agree, Mr. Blinken added. The pair met in Tel Aviv for talks that Mr. Netanyahu has described as positive, with his office adding that he had reiterated his commitment to an American proposal on the release of the hostages still held by Hamas, which took into account Israel's security needs. Mr. Blinken had earlier warned that this was maybe the last opportunity to secure a ceasefire agreement, as the U.S. hopes to push a deal over the finish line. The Americans hope that it could happen perhaps as soon as this time next week, but that level of optimism is not shared by the Israeli leadership or Hamas. Each accuses the other of obstinate cynicism and blocking a deal. Speaking in Tel Aviv after the talks, Mr. Blinken described the fierce urgency of progressing towards a truce and hostage release deal. We're never giving up, he added, saying more delays could mean more hostages could die and further obstacles could hamper any agreement. The U.S. Secretary of State will now travel on to Egypt and then Qatar to try and drive forward progress on a deal. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has remained steadfast on his position that until all active members of Hamas are eliminated, they will not stop this war. We will see what will happen. If a deal is reached, will it be something that will be permanent, or will it just be temporary, ultimately leading to another conflict? Time will tell, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens.